Hello there! First of all, a huge thank you to everyone who has showed their support. With your help, we have reached more than 200% fundings raised in less than a week. Couldn't have done this without you backing me on Indiegogo or even sharing this project on the forums, Facebook groups and all kinds of communities you hang out in. So I'm really glad that quite a few people have decided to help me in one way or the other. Some of you have asked me to do this video, going through all the menus slowly, show you how to navigate around, so here we are. Please keep in mind that everything is still a work in progress and everything might change if I'm convinced that there is a better alternative. Also, I'll experiment with a different LCD, one that is capable of handling graphics and different size text unlike this one, and if I like it enough, that means the whole interface will get rewritten with the capabilities of a new graphical LCD in mind. Without much more talking, I'll start by hooking my prototype with this USB cable. Since I'm not in my darkroom and it's not connected to the power brick, this cable will have to supply the power. Then we're greeted by a home page, which I can specify in the options, and that is the darkroom timer mode. I can scroll around by using the left dial and use the right one to make changes. Or I can just press the enter button to go into a deeper menu and make changes here. When you see a split screen like this, that means the right one controls the right value and the left one controls the value on the left. Which means I can use the right one to change the grade reminder that is on display here, or use the left one to scroll between highlight, shadows, color, develop, fixer paths, all those modes. By the way, a small information, if I'm in single grade mode, if I use the right encoder to go from contrast 3 to 4 and above, it doubles the time as recommended by Ilford. You can of course disable this in the options. It also doesn't behave like that when it's in the highlight or the shadow mode, because doubling the time probably is not your intention when doing a split grade print. If I ever want to reach the main menu, all I have to do is press the button of the memory channel I'm in. Right now I'm in channel 1, which is the first button. If I were in any of the other channels, another one of these buttons would have lit up and I could have just gone to the home page by pressing them. But right now it's button 1. I also experimented offering reprogramming these buttons, so if you don't want to use all 6 buttons for memory modes, maybe you can use one of them to call the test strip mode, maybe you can use this one to add some dodging and burning. That's something I'll have to experiment with. If the project goes open source, I'm sure someone will modify them to behave like that anyway. Everything is in the software, so we can be quite flexible. Back at the main menu, if you want to go to any of the functions selected by the right dial, all you have to do is just press the enter button. You never press the countdown or the focus buttons unless you are about to start an exposure. So let's say we want to edit the base time. You may have noticed that the cursor has been changed. Before this it was a up and down arrow, and when you're in this mode it's a double arrow pointing at the time. That means you will use the right dial to make more precise adjustments, and you can use the left one to make more crude adjustments. Right now this one controls the time in 1 second, and this one is for making smaller 0.1 step adjustments. And if you're past 10 seconds, this one controls the time in 10 seconds, and this one controls the time in 1 second. Which means you can just go back and maybe do the small digits first, and then go above 10 seconds, and then finalize if you ever need a precise time like that. If I switch to the graphical LCD, there will be a small line of text here, which will say left dial does this, and the right dial does that, and the enter button does that. So I'm really excited to experiment with the graphical LCD. Let's go back to the main menu and do a test strip. We still got double arrows, which means the right one will make small adjustments and the left one will make large adjustments. Let's go to a short time. You don't need to make f-stop adjustments before making a test strip. So the enter button will just switch to test strip parameters. Again, you have twin arrows, which means the left one will change the number of test strips you have, and the right one will control the step size. Editing the third line is a bit awkward at this time because I designed this page very early in the design process and I haven't updated it so far, so you would expect another press of the enter button would go to the third row, But right now, how you change them is when you reach the end, it just clicks over to the next setting, because these settings are only toggle either individual or additive. So I'm gonna have to change this one because it's a bit awkward right now for anyone. It's not really intuitive to anyone other than me. So this will get updated, don't worry about it. When you have your settings, you're about to start exposing, so that means you got to press the expose button. When you press the button, it takes you to the strip preview page, gives you one last look, so you can now scroll around, see how long each strip's going to take. You can even change the direction if you want to cover your test strips with each step, or if you want to reveal them with each step. And when you're ready, you click once again, it tells you to cover the first two strips, expose the final one, then you either use your remote or click manually to do your whole test strip. And at the end, it'll ask you which strip you like the best. So if you want the middle one or the last one, you just select it, and you can either hit enter to go to a refine mode, do another test strip, maybe different settings, a tighter spread, or you can just retry these settings, cancel everything, or just click OK. If you want to do an exposure with the selected test strip, you can always use the start countdown button to make an individual exposure. I'll just hit OK and go to the compensation menu. You've probably guessed this is a twin. That's twin settings. So this one controls what you want to exchange, and this one controls if you want to compensate both A and B channels or just this channel. Then just click enter, and it's the same thing. Just use your pre and post exposures, and when you press enter, it will calculate the time and compensate it for you. Now let's add a burn action. Go to the burn menu. I'll edit burn bank 1. And once again, the left one is for setting the display. You can scroll through all the corners, edges, maybe half the paper, or subject B, subject C, and the right one controls the burn amount and f-stops. And once again, if you want to just make a burn to your already existing ongoing print, you can just click the expose button. By the way, if you want the beep buzzer on, so just click enter, go back, go to bank 2, add another burn mode, maybe this time slightly longer, maybe to the top of the page, and then I can use the left one to either edit this one, clear the second channel, reset everything, the counter goes away as you might notice, or just exit the main menu. I could have pressed the home button again. Adding a dodge action is exactly the same, by the way. So this has been the basic navigation. Keep in mind that everything is still a work in progress, and I'll be updating and refining everything as I go along. I'm open to all suggestions and comments and ideas, so please don't hesitate to contact me about anything. This was it. Thanks for watching.